Today we're talking about the Muppet Christmas Carol. Yes, the one with felt, googly eyes, and a frog. Kermit the Frog. Because weirdly, maybe especially because they're puppets, this movie is one of the cleanest, clearest, most disciplined examples of great film acting that you can study. I know.
But I don't believe it.
And if you've ever thought, I don't want to do too much. I'm afraid I'm not expressive enough. I don't move around a lot. Am I boring on camera? Well, this movie quietly answers all of that.
You there.
Here's the core takeaway I want you to leave with today. In cinema, on camera, in a movie, you don't need a big range of motion to connect with an audience. On stage, you gotta make sure the people over here see ya. You gotta walk across the stage. You gotta make sure people over here see ya. You want to, utilize the space because you're in a live situation. However, on camera, the camera is right in front of you. If you yell at her, she doesn't like it. She gets scared. The audience can tell that you're full of and these Muppets, they prove. You don't need to use your eyebrows all the time. You don't need to be flapping your eyelids as much as possible. You don't need to be doing all of that stuff. You just need to be a really, really solid storyteller.
Hello!
You need clean objectives, clear listening, precise timing, emotional truth, and of course, my favorite, restraint.
About to raise your salary.
Oh, and I am about to raise you right off the pavement! Pardon?
Now these Muppets, they have limited facial movement, limited body articulation, and their eyeballs only go in one direction, okay? And they can't blink, which is fantastic, thank God, okay? And yet, they cry, they mourn, they manipulate, they transform, because the acting is doing the heavy lifting, not the movement.
Building! I've been meaning to fix that shelf.
Okay, let's talk about the challenge first. A human actor has micro expressions, facial asymmetry, muscle tension, blink patterns, breath shifts. A Muppet, they've got one mouth hinge, one head tilt, and arms that move from the elbow. Okay, that's it. So that means that every single movement is intentional. There's no accidental acting, there's no filler behavior, there's no mugging the camera. It's all intentional. It all tells the story.
What?
And that makes this movie a masterclass in economy. Let's talk about Michael Caine, the king, the big king daddy of film acting. If you haven't seen his class on film acting, give it a watch. I will link to it in the description. Pretty freaking awesome, okay? And he is not a fan of blinking, just like me. Why? Because he knows. He knows.
And if I keep blinking, it weakens me.
Here's the most important decision that he makes. He plays it completely straight. These aren't Muppets. He's on Broadway right now. He's at the Old Vic, okay? He is in a grand, big production of A Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens' great Christmas Carol story. He plays it totally straight. He's not laughing at any of this stuff. I mean, imagine being Michael Caine with all these little Muppets running around, all this stuff. It's ridiculous. I mean, my goodness. The man holds it down.
How would the bookkeepers like to be suddenly
Unemployed!
This is my island in the sun.
Not one tiny little flutter of thinking that this is bullshit. Okay, 100% of the time, he is totally straight, okay? And that's why this works so well, because he is the anchor of the whole thing.
Oh, excellent. For a moment, I was worried.
He doesn't wink at the joke. He doesn't comment on the absurdity. He doesn't match his performance to the puppets. He treats them like real people, and because of that, they become real. This is advanced film acting. Michael Caine understands that his objective must never change, and the circumstances are absurd, but the stakes are not. That allows the Muppets to rise to his level instead of the other way around. One of the reasons why the acting is so good in this is because the objectives are crystal clear. Let's take Kermit the Frog as
Bob Cratchit?
Yes, Mr. Scrooge?
his objectives are very simple: protect his family, keep his job, and preserve his dignity. He doesn't perform warmth, he pursues safety and love. Because the puppet can't over-emote, he can't overdo it, he can't do too much, he can't get too big, his intention stays very clean. This is something I talk about all of the time. If your objective is strong enough, then you don't need extra behavior. You don't need all of that extra fluff. If you are constantly gesturing or nodding or shifting or performing reactions, then you are diluting the story. Watch how still these characters are. When they move, it means something. A head tilt isn't decoration, it's a choice. A pause isn't empty, it's listening. This is why over-movement kills film acting. The Muppets, they can't do that, so they don't. And the result is clarity. Let's talk about Scrooge. He has a very interesting arc, and this performance is all about gradual shifts, emotion that accumulates, and an internal change. There's no big theatrical transformation until the very end, and that mirrors real life because emotions, they accumulate to a climax and then they explode. This is something that editors love. We don't need you to show us everything. We just need to feel the direction.
Humbug.
Now, as I like to say, good film acting gives the editor options, whereas bad film acting forces decisions. This is something that actors rarely think about, but editors feel immediately. When performances are this clear, editing becomes simple. Not easy, but clear, because the editor's not fighting extra gestures that don't match the emotional beat, overlapping reactions that muddy the intention, or these wild tonal shifts from take to take. With the Muppet Christmas Carol, every single performance is consistent, it's intention driven, and it's emotionally legible.
Yes, I remember.
That means in the edit, cuts are motivated by story, not damage control. Close-ups work because the actors aren't overplaying it, and you can hold on a shot longer without it going dead. The Muppets can't fidget. They can't self-indicate. They can't throw in extra business. They can't do extra stuff. So the editor gets clean emotional math. And when the editors trust the performance, the audience does too.
Cheers.
This movie proves that stillness is not emptiness, and simplicity is not lack of talent, and restraint is absolutely not boring. Because if a felt puppet with one facial hinge can absolutely break your heart, then you're allowed to relax a little bit.
Not Tiny Tim.
Especially in the era of tight close-ups and high-resolution cameras and minimalist directing, the actors who can do less are winning. You don't need to prove anything on camera, okay? It's ridiculous. Knock it off, all right? But you do need to know what you want, you need to listen, you need to be present, and you need to absolutely embrace stillness, okay? If a Muppet Christmas Carol can do that with puppets, you can too. Have an absolutely wonderful, beautiful holiday. I will see you next year.